than men in this world. Like this is just being completely honest, this is a patriarchal society, right? It's a society built by and for cisgender straight white men. That's just what it is. I'm just calling a spade a spade. I'm not trying to pit us against them, making it a us versus them thing. I'm just calling a spade a spade. And honestly, I'm not even here to perpetuate separation, but rather oneness, because we all deserve and can walk with the same sort of confidence and easeful flow that cisgender straight white men experience in this society. We can have access to it, and so that's why I do this work, is to help us to get there to the place where we feel and know how to access this, because of the way that we have come, the society is set up. Quite often women in particular can come through having the belief of I'm not worthy. And so that's one of the beliefs that I work in. And then number two,
Hey, thank you, J1Qers, for coming in. I want to tell you a little bit about today's guest that you're going to be seeing. Her name is Nycole Ralph. She goes by Nycole, and whenever you see the initial and then the name, you know that's usually an actor, an author. Usually that's how they go. But let me tell you a little bit about Nycole. She's one of the top 2% of actors in the industry and a certified life coach. She's a theta healer, career, and entrepreneurial coach. Nycole Ralph loves helping other actors and entrepreneurs make an impact in the world and get paid um, well to do it. And now she helps others to do the same through acting and or entrepreneurship. So this is Nycole. She's been living her dream of performing on Broadway and touring around the world for the past several years, telling the heartwarmingly impactful yet hilarious story, The Book of Mormon. Yes, you've heard about it. You've probably even seen it. Written by Matt Stone and Trey Parker, who are the writers of South Park, while also appearing in other shows and films alongside Yara Shahidi, Essence Atkins, Andrea Lewis, and Brenda Braxton, just to name a few. Additionally, Nycole is an executive producer of an American Black Film Festival selection, Lola, the first American female boxing movie starring Taja V. Simpson of Tyler Perry's The Oval and Boo 2. Now streaming on Tubi. Make sure you go check it out. But ultimately, Nycole's mission is to express freedom, love, and compassion in her own unique way through her acting career. I want to show you just a little bit of her work, and let's take a look at this right here. Let's see if we can bring that up before we jump right into it. There we go. So I don't want to put any of the volume on, but just wanted to actually show you just a little bit before the interview starts and you guys can get to process this just a little bit. Wonderful, wonderful actress, entrepreneurial spirit, and I love the effort that she gives back into it. So, without any further ado, let's just get ready to jump right into talking with. so, okay, so first off, let's start with this. I know that anyone can read a bio. They can see what's on the screen and understand it. But I love for my guests to come on, let the listeners know who they are to themselves. So take a few moments, let them know who you are, how you got here, anything you want to share with them, and then we'll jump into the interview. All
yeah.
yours.
Thank you so much for having me, Lion. I'm so excited to be here. Your intro is just so exhilarating. It's exciting. So thank you. This is an honor. I am J. Nicole, and I am love. I am freedom. I am compassion. I am consideration. I am understanding. And I choose to express these things in this lifetime, at this time, in this lifetime, through my acting and through my coaching. So I am an actor on Broadway, on TV, and films. I'm currently in the Broadway show, The Book of Mormon. I have begun doing more TV and film as well. This year on TV, I was on That Damn Michael Che, which is on HBO Max, and been shooting a film. And I'm also, like I said, a coach. I am a manifestation coach for Black women, and I love helping Black women to manifest the next level in their life, in their love, in their career, in their business. Many of my clients come to me and I help them to attract the biggest opportunity of their life and or to triple their income or more. And it happens consistently, and I just love helping people doing that through utilizing the law of attraction, the 80-20 rule, and just the principles of manifestation. So that's me.
At that, in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen, if that didn't grab your attention and make you say, "Let me pull this car over," or turn this volume up, I don't know what to tell you. But we're going to dive into some things here, and I love that. So, first, let's start off from the beginning. We have some listeners out there who are probably saying to themselves, "You know what? I want to dive into acting. I want to become an actress. I want to just." Go for it, right? At this point in my life, like you said, this season of my life, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. Let's give them just a little bit of information of how that started for you. Just would you suggest it? Let us know.
Yeah. So the first and foremost thing I would say is get into a class. Get into a class to, number one, actually, not just to learn how to do it, but to experience it and to understand if this truly is something that you desire to do. Because the life, it looks glamorous, it looks wonderful, and like this thing that everybody wants to do, from watching TV and looking at movies or maybe even going to live shows. But to actually experience it, experience how vulnerable you have to be in front of people, to experience the work, the actual work that goes into it. Like, you really have to be a good actor, you really have to be trained well. And so I would say get into a class to find out if that's something you want to do. If you are drawn to it, if you enjoy it, then um then go for it. You can do it at any age. Like, you don't
Yeah.
have to start when you're young. You can start at any age. I believe there are several people, such as Morgan Freeman is one of the ones that comes to mind right now, who didn't really start making it until he was in his 50s. So you can do it. You really can do it at any age.
Yeah, and for everyone out there who just automatically thinks, sometimes they go, Kevin Hart has a great line one time I heard him say in an interview. He said, "It took me like 16 years of overnight success to get here." Right? People just think you just popped on and they don't. He said, "They didn't know the clubs I was in before and I had glass bottles thrown at me or, whatever."
Mhm.
And it is so true because even to the point of like when I was on stage and being up there doing comedy and magic and all that stuff, I had to learn you don't overstep your applause, for an example, right? Let them finish applauding or something and then go into your next line. For my type of industry, didn't know that before I went into classes and learned from people who've been there. Everyone can use a coach. I know people out there say, "Oh, I can do this." You can, but if you have a coach, someone in your life to help guide you through those mistakes they've made, it helps kind of like shortcut it out. So now,
Exactly.
one of my favorite subjects I'm going to go into, and all my audience members know I'm as transparent and warm hearted as I can be. Black women, my core, right? And I say this because growing up as a kid, we don't know what our parents go through to get us and do all of those things. And I was listening to Draymond's Green podcast once, and he was talking about even as an adult, he didn't know how much his mother made until he had to do something to put her on his taxes for like to help her out. And he's like, so my whole life, pretty much, you've made 17, $20,000 a year. And she told him, yeah. But he said he never felt that. She never let them know that they were, in essence, poor, or whatever word we want to choose. So the strength Black women possess, right? And I recently did a review on Wakanda, from the strength of Black women, and also the Woman
Hey,
King. Oh my goodness.
yes.
So, what draws you to wanting to give that information to Black women, to and also anyone who's listening to this? It's for anyone, but I'm assuming it's specifically for the culture, right? I tell people when they listen to my podcast is dedicated to the culture and inspiration of Black culture, but anyone can listen. Anyone can come on who can give information to that. So jump into it and let us know what's going on with that.
Yeah, yeah. So I have been doing manifestation work with people, not just Black women, for quite some time. And so I do have programming for people who are not just Black women, but my core programming, the programming that is closest to my heart, is for Black women. Because number one, as a woman, just taking the woman part of it, we just have a different experience than men in this world. Like this is just being completely honest, this is a patriarchal society, right? It's a society built by and for cisgender straight white men. That's just what it is. I'm just calling a spade a spade. I'm not trying to pit us against them, making it a us versus them thing. I'm just calling a spade. And honestly, I'm not even here to perpetuate separation, but rather oneness, because we all deserve and can walk with the same sort of confidence and easeful flow that cisgender straight white men experience in this society. We can have access to it, and so that's why I do this work, is to help us to get there, to the place where we feel and know how to access this, because of the way that we have come, this the society is set up. Quite often women in particular can come through having the belief of I'm not worthy. And so that's one of the beliefs that I work in. And then number two, Black people, we just have a different experience. And I'm gonna just say one word: slavery. If you are a descendant of a slave, there's this whole slew of beliefs, a whole slew of ancestral lineage and healing and wounding that has happened that we still deal with to this day. Like slaves, all we knew, as a direct descendant of a slave that I know for a fact I am, all we knew was to work, work, work to survive. There was no concept of money whatsoever, or how to build or amass more, become wealthy. It was just work to survive, because we weren't getting paid. It was just either you worked and you did what the master said and you lived, or you didn't and you died. My great grandmother's grandparents were slaves. I knew my great grandmother. My great grandmother's grandparents were slaves. That's only 5 generations, Lion. That's only 5 generations. And so, like, that to me, it's so close to us, and so that's why we still are dealing with this. And so then after slavery was abolished, right, and after we found out about it, because as we know, slavery was abolished, but a lot of Black people
Yeah.
didn't realize they were free until well after the fact. But then after everybody realized they're free, then you mainly did one of two things. Well, I should say three things. One thing that people did was they migrated north and they got jobs up north and they started working, or you stayed down south and you became a sharecropper, or you became a vagrant and you went to jail because they started making these uh, petty crimes like vagrancy and wandering, and that became a crime, and so they put you in jail. And what happened? And they also made the law back then that if you're in jail, then you could be used as a slave, which is still in the Constitution to this day. So you're gonna become a slave that way, going to jail because you had no place to go. Like you're newly free, you don't have a house, and so now you're in jail because you're a vagrant. And so all all of that to say, and I could go on and on about this, to be quite honest, and a
That's
lot of this
right.
is in my teachings that I do, but all of that to say is just a lot of that was just passed down to us, right? Like the work,
Yeah.
work, 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 work mentality. Like you just mentioned, Draymond Green's mother only making $17,000 to $20,000. I bet she worked hard for that
Oh yeah.
$17,000 to $20,000. You know what I mean? And so that's all that my parents didn't know about finances and anything more than working hard to get money. And so that's what I learned from my parents, because
Yes.
their parents didn't know any better, and because their parents didn't know any better. And so I am here to change that and to help teach different mindset, teach different beliefs, and talk about manifestation and abundance in a way that is our divine birthright, that we actually lived prior to slavery back in Africa. We lived this way, but once we got stolen into America, that those manifestation things kind of got stripped from us.
Yeah.
So I'm here to bring it
And
back.
this is the truth, and it means so much to me because just like you were saying, it was passed down generation to generation, right? But then we also get into this mindset that I feel that tradition, we have to keep doing it. We can't change it because our ancestors did it. Our ancestors would want us to be happy, which means if in 2022, 2023, we weren't able to use technology from back when they were, then we should still be doing that, right? But no, it's a new era. We use what's in front of us. So we can change that mindset. As you were saying, work, 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 work. That's what
Right,
I grew up on. My grandfather used to tell me, put money in the bank, save it, save it for retirement. You can't do that in today's society. You've got to learn to invest in something,
right,
diversify, stratify, anything, right? You can't
right.
save any longer. You got to learn tax things, and I'm learning business things and LLC for my business. So I absolutely love that. Now, here comes an interesting thing with that because we get into the work, work, work mentality, right? And I know that in our last conversation, you were telling me about this. You also help people when they get to that point to adjust from being burnt out, right?
Yeah,
To kind of, hey, if you're going to do that, you need to do this. And then within that, so talk about that a little bit of how, you deal with clients or people who may come to you who feel burnout to help them think and change their mindset to attract more money.
yeah.
What do you do with that?
Yeah. So what I help people do is to employ the 80/20 rule. So 80% of success is internal work, inner work, working on yourself. So that's doing belief work, shifting beliefs that I was talking about, like the I'm not worthy, or I have to work hard for my money, I have to work hard for my success. It's shifting the beliefs and really getting in tune with God or the divine or whatever you call your source energy, really getting a good relationship with yourself and your source. And so that's 80% of success. And then 20% of success is the outer strategic work. Normally, most people have it reversed, where you're doing 80% or more, 90, 100% of the strategic work, and 20%, if you're lucky, of inner work. So a lot of people are doing not any inner work, or maybe 5 to 10% of inner work. So we flip it on its head.
It is such an interesting thing because with this, I always say we don't know what we don't know. We aren't given a manual of how to construct things. And even if you are given a manual, life throws a curveball and you got to be able to adjust with it, right? So we've got a lot of people who are saying, you know what? I want to start a business. I want to build a business. And that's great. But then we have to learn the steps, right? We have to learn where to put the bricks to build a foundation and get all that stuff. Because I know, and I put it out, manifest. Matter of fact, I just posted a picture on one of my social medias in my groups there where my wife and I, on our platform in our backyard, we have a little small blue pool that we used to let the grandkids play inside. And I was sitting around watching them play in there, and I said, we're going to get a jacuzzi there. I just out of the blue. And she's like, huh? And I was like, I've always wanted a jacuzzi. And then at that moment, we started our plan. We sat down, wrote things out. And then I think it was 7, 8 months later, we had a jacuzzi in the backyard, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the tale for everyone. It might take someone else 2 years. But you've got to be willing to go for that. So then we get into the money part, right? You're at a certain figure, whatever you're making, 5 figures, and you want to jump to six. And I know that career. So let me hear that story about, because I remember you telling me about a coach you worked with that started you like, I think it was 2014, 13, 2014, somewhere around there. And they helped
Yeah.
you push towards that. Let the listeners hear about it. Ladies and gentlemen, time to get motivated and do something. Let us hear about that story.
Yeah. So I was in an abusive relationship. I was just, it was emotionally abusive, it was physically abusive. I was acting at that time. I had just finished doing a Broadway tour of West Side Story, and came home to this person, and we had been together for a while already, and so came home from tour, and allowed this person to convince me that I wasn't any good at what I was doing, and that I should take a break, but in essence, quit acting basically, and help him to get to the next level in his career, like put my energy into that full time. And so we basically built a business, a theater company where he was the star and I was the behind the scenes person running the business and everything. And it became very manipulative and abusive, and to the point where I almost died one time. And so my family had to come and rescue me, pull me out of that situation. And so I was sleeping on my aunt's floor for a year. For 12 months, I was sleeping on my aunt's floor. And because there was no space, there were no beds, there was already somebody sleeping on the couch. Like I said, I don't come from money. So my family didn't have money. So I'm sleeping on her floor. And on those nights where I'm laying there, they were sleepless, a lot of them, because I had PTSD from my experience with the guy. And so in those sleepless nights, I would, I guess, be praying and saying, God, like, I know there's more for me. I know there's something greater for me. This is not my destiny. This is not what you have for me. I know that there's more in me, and that I have to offer to the world, and that I'm destined for greatness. And why am I here? What is it within me? And it was in those nights that I began to realize that I was the common denominator. I needed something inside of me to change. And so that's when I began to fight for my life, basically, because I was at rock bottom at that point, and either I was going to go down, which was dying. There was no other place to go but to die, or go up. And so I started fighting for my life and looking for help on YouTube, and uh, seminars, working with coaches who were giving free sessions, and just trying to books, and just trying to find ways to develop myself personally, and bring in more money, and raise my vibration. And that's when I began to learn about raising your vibration. Like, okay, you want more money, but you got to change your beliefs and raise your vibration. And that's when I began to get into all that work. And I finally found a coach that after I had my one free session, I was like, oh, I need to keep working this person, because I know that this person is going to help me get to where I need to get to. But I didn't have any money at that time. My business was gone with him, like everything, the house, the car. I had no income coming in. At PTSD. I couldn't even get myself together to get a job. So I figured out, so I had a talk with that coach, and I was like, I really want to do this work, because I know it's what I need, but I don't know how I can. So we talked and we brainstormed, and we figured out a way. And I did something that was really, really scary for me at that time. And that was to put it on a credit card, because I was already living on credit since I didn't have any money coming in. But it was the best investment in myself that I could have ever made, because I more than made a return on that investment, and how I grew as a person, and how I felt in being able to get my own place, and being able to achieve my dream of having my own coaching business, and starting to bring in 4 and 5 figure months. I was able to achieve my dream of being a professional actress, like really being on Broadway, making 6 figures as an actress, and really stepping into the life that I knew I was destined for, that was destined for me. And it was because I worked with that coach to help me shift my mindset and step into my own power, start doing that 80% of inner work. Because prior to that, I was go, 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 doing all these things, working hard. I had a strong work ethic. I still do. And it was doing all the things outside of me, working hard on my craft, working hard on my acting, working hard on his business, working hard on all these things, but I wasn't working on myself. And so when I first started to work on myself, that's when my life completely changed. And I started being able to do all the things I wanted to do, have the money I wanted to have, travel and live the life that I deserved and desired.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, I don't even have the AC on in here, and I got a little chills, right? Just hearing this stuff. If this does not motivate you, these are the stories that I love hearing. I love sharing when I go talk with young youth and people out there, because there's someone who's listening to this who's saying, I want these things, I just don't know how to get it, right? And I always say, if we keep doing the same things we've done, we're going to keep getting the same results we've gotten. We've
Say it, Lion.
we've got to get out the mentality, and we still have in some essence that slave mentality, that kind of stuff that we don't want to elevate ourselves to get to. A lot of times when I bring people on my podcast, and then for the listeners, they also watch sometimes the video portion. But when I bring people on, they see the kind of format that I'm using. I'll hear people say, wow, I've never seen that, right? Because it's kind of like what you said. I had to make that choice. Do I just want to do this as a hobby, or I want to put it in, right? So I need to pay for a system that allows me to make it look like I want it to look. Free is okay if you're just starting off, right? But at some point, you got to say, if you want better, then you got to change. And that, man, that pushes us. And I just really want people to understand that. Find a way, right? Figure it out. What are you willing to give up? Are you willing to give up those six packs, maybe the chips, maybe, you know, do whatever. I told my son recently, we were sitting down because we, at the end of the year, we do like a little budget thing. And I said, all right, so next year, I want you to take 1% of each pay period and then double it in next month. And I kind of rolled it out. And at the end of the year, you're going to have roughly about $2,500 to $3,500 saved. He said, what? 1%. So he said, yes, because people will see us sometimes. We had my youngest son, 8, he had a neighbor's kid come over, and he went back, and then his mom texted my wife, and she said, my son just came back and said, wow, mom, they're rich. Because of the things that we put in the home, right? It's not that we're rich, it's just that we work for those things. We plan them out. What are we going to give up? So we were going out to eat twice a month. Are we willing to give that up to get that pool table or whatever we would want? Okay, so then that means it's going to take us 6 months to save for that. You have to be willing to give it up. Man, that's so exciting. So now, creating a safe space. We heard that. What do you mean by that when you say that? Because I love to say, I love to create a safe space for people to be a little dangerous, right? So you wanted to create a safe space for the
Yeah.
women to be able to come and talk. So let us know a little bit about that, and then we'll jump into your manifestation challenge.
Yeah, yeah. So, the going back to what I had said at the beginning, my core programming is for Black women, and that is it's group coaching. And so, in that group coaching program, I want to create a safe space for Black women to come and be able to express themselves in the way that we express ourselves. We speak differently. We be out here in this world code switching, and so in this space, you don't have to code switch. You can come and be your true authentic self. And so that's why I wanted to create this space. And also, I mean, that's the surface level part of it. But also, like I said, we just had different experiences. And so to be able to work through this manifestation work and integrate it into our lives as Black women is going to look different than non-Black women or men. And so I want us to have a safe space where we can come and share our experiences and talk through these things in a way that other people just wouldn't be able to relate to.
Yeah, and when you threw that code switch in there, I was like, I know, because there's a couple of different worlds, and we have to learn to talk different
Mhm.
situations. So, and I always say this too, because we hear the stereotypical angry Black women, right? Oh my goodness. And I told a guest one time, we were talking, and we were sharing it, and I said, but with these angry Black women stereotypes, or the Black men being so aggressive, whatever, you don't really see them doing any of those mass shootings, do you? Or those events like that. But it's true, right? It's just, it's, you get to a point where you're so felt like you're being stepped on so much, you have to feel like you have to push stronger to come out, and it shouldn't be that way. I should be evaluated the same way as my counterpart, coming in, but it doesn't happen. And I'm gonna get into that thing, but I say this also jokingly sometimes when people talk about how something is made up, and this is my little joking line, and people who've seen this show will understand. And I say, well, that was created by three old white men sitting in the back of a limousine in the middle of Gilead. When I say like,
Yes.
for that's their system, right? They how
Mhm.
did they come up with to make these ladies say in that show? People see it with the red cape. Oh my goodness, I just drew a blank. The with June, and they took the kids, and the ladies are used for oh, my wife's going to kill me because we love this show. It's going to come back to me, but Gilead, it's
Oh,
on
oh, oh, oh! You're talking
Hulu.
about him and Hill.
Yes, Handmaid's Tale. There it
Okay.
is, right? They were sitting in the back of a limousine and said, "How can we get them to believe our system?" Well, let's just say it was from the Bible, and that's how. And
Right.
so that's what. So three white men sitting in the back of a limousine telling you, you can't do something. You have to start to believe that you can. Let no one hold you back. Be your own advocate for whatever you want in life. Now, manifestation challenge. It is coming up, and we have an opportunity for everyone to learn about it and listen and feel it and see what it's all about. And we're going to take a moment to actually get into that. But let me find out exactly where we at on that there. So, the manifestation challenge, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be coming up in just a little while, in a couple of weeks here. And the dates are going to be from, let me make sure I get this date correct because I want to make sure I get the information for everyone correct. December the 26th through January the 6th. Resume in 3, 2, record. All right, so now let's go ahead and jump into this manifestation challenge because I'm so excited about that. Not only one, because it's being done, but because I get to do a little small speaking part about it. So here we
It's
go.
not
We're going to
small.
bring this up, and I want you to kind of tell all of the listeners and the viewers who'll be watching this what this means to you, what it is, what you're working to get out of that. And the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yeah. So as you see, it is J. Nicole's motherfucking manifestation challenge. We are doing this from December 26th through January 6th. So we are going to end 2022 in the energy of manifestation and start our 2023 in that energy so that we are going to manifest motherfucking amazing things in the new year. It's a 10-day free challenge to just so that you can step into your power, so that you really can start to understand and use your own power to manifest the things that you want to manifest in 2023. And so you can see some of the things that have happened in past challenges there. Tiara and Nycole manifested $30,000. A lot of people manifested multiple five figures in their. I'm sorry about that.
And
Do you want
all
me
right,
to go just from where I was talking about the people from past challenges?
um,
Or do you want
let's
me to just start
do
the whole thing over
yeah,
again?
let's do that just because that way it'll be easier, way easier for me to splice them together. Since it was still in the beginning part of it, it wasn't
Okay.
deep into the challenge. So, all right, here we go. And all right, so now we're talking about this manifestation challenge, and I'm really excited about that. So let's go ahead and just break it down for all of the listeners and the viewers, what this means to you, what it is, and it is now all yours.
Yay! I'm so excited about this. This is J. Nicole's motherfucking manifestation challenge. We are doing this from December 26th through January 6th. So we're going to end 2022 in the energy of manifestation and go step into our 2023 in that manifestation energy, ready to manifest all the amazing motherfucking things that we are looking to manifest in 2023. So it is a 10-day free challenge where you will really step into owning, understanding, and stepping into your own power so that you really can manifest the things that you want to manifest in 2023. And as you can see here, in our past challenges, people have manifested amazing things. A lot of people, it says Tierra and Nycole manifested $30,000, and a lot of people manifested, several people manifested multiple five figures in the span of the challenge itself. Then Stephanie, Jamal, and Camila, and many others, honestly, manifested more money in their business or their professional life than they ever had before. Tiffany is another one, manifested her highest paying job. Stephanie manifested more money than she had ever made before. I could just go down the list of people just manifesting amazing opportunities and money in their life. And also, not, and I'll be honest, I'll be transparent, not everybody manifests that sort of thing within the span of the challenge, but it was either shortly thereafter or they had a very solid plan of action of what they needed to do in order to manifest it within that year. And most people, if they stuck to the plan, they did it. They manifested it. And everyone who comes to the challenge comes out feeling better, having raised their vibration and just really being in that energy of self-love, loving oneself, and and law of attraction and manifestation. So that is the most important thing to me, is that you come out of this feeling better, loving yourself more, and being more connected to the divine.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to say this because when I speak and talk, I come from a little different angle a lot of times than some other people because it happened for me. Because I know we all learn different. Some people learn visually, they need to touch things, kinetically, all kind of things, right? Sometimes people need to be told things straight. And I was one of those persons. And I'll give you a small example real quick and then I'll kind of tie it together. 22, 23-year-old me, young kid, always bragging about what I've got, what I can do. And I remember one of my coaches at the time, and I didn't know it was a coach directly at the time, but they were teaching me. And I was like, oh, no, I could go get that shirt. That ain't nothing. And my coach, she said, then go get it then. Oh, I don't want it. She said, shut up about it then. Stop doing it. Stop talking about it and get to a point where you are able to do it. People who can do don't boast and talk about things. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I know there are some people who are going to still be sitting here thinking, oh, that stuff don't work. Manifestation, talking about things, it don't work. Well, guess what? What you're doing currently isn't working. That's me. Most coaches, most people won't flat out tell you that. I will look you in the face and say, you're here for a reason. I was on stage talking one time and I told this to someone. And they said, Dad, what you're talking about isn't working. I said, then why am I on stage and you're sitting in the seat listening to me? And the audience was like,
Mm.
okay, right? But sometimes you have to let people know directly. It worked for me. That's why I'm here and you're not. Right. So
Yeah.
take this challenge. It's 10 days. It's free. What are you going to lose? You want to get out of the situation, you want to grow, you want to get better, then get with people who are surrounding themselves to become better. Sign up today, sign up and whenever you can, come along. You might not be able to get to all 10 days. That's okay, right? Start the process. You got to be there
And there are
networking.
recordings.
Oh, they
There
record
are
it.
recordings.
There
Yep.
you
So if you
go.
can't make it to every day, you can access the recordings. Yep.
Look at
And
that.
we'll
You
have,
got no
and we're gonna
excuse.
have, exactly. And we're gonna have amazing guest speakers. So in the morning will be the manifestation sessions with me, and then the afternoons will be our amazing guest experts, such as Lion himself, talking on different aspects of your life and how manifestation fits into that. How to be a better person, how fitness, uh, health,
Mm.
community, finances. There's going to be so many different topics with these guest experts, and so you'll be able to integrate manifestation into the different areas of your life.
Love it, love it, love it. Oh my goodness. So, hey, stick with me for 1 second, Nicole. I'm going to wrap up and get some of these bills paid. So, I will be right back with you, okay? So, just give me 1 second. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming to another episode of J1Q. Just one question. That question is for you. What are you going to do with yourself coming up for the new year, right? We always make resolutions, but make some goals, plan them out, and get things going. I love to hear about it. Continue writing in for your questions, your concerns, and things you want to do. And as always, remember that this episode is being brought to you by the Hustle 1977 whiskey. For those who grind, you deserve to relax. Why not relax with a bottle of smooth tasting Hustle brand whiskey? Ladies and gentlemen, remember, as I always tell you, keep living while you are alive.
Thank you for listening to Just One Question. I know you enjoy the show because you made it this far. If you want to hear more, subscribe, share, and don't forget to give us a 5-star review. Now, what's your one question?